Happy Monday, class. Today I am going to Lesson 90, Equal Group Stories Part 2, which is a fancy way for saying these word problems are going to involve division. So, the first thing we are going to start off with, though, is problem solving on page 486. And on that page, you will see a fancy little grid that has G for gallons. I know my drawing is amazing. And C for cups. Your teacher is not an artist, but it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make the lines that they have. So if you remember in our capacity lesson, and if you want to turn back with me to the capacity lesson, it is on page 472 and 473. So, for every 2 cups is a pint, for every 2 pints is a quart, for every 2 quarts is a half gallon, for every 2 half gallons is a full gallon. So if you remember those, this will come as second nature, or if you just follow what it's asking you to do, which I'm about to go over, it'll be just as easy as well. So the school's principal's office has a water cooler. The big bottle of water that sits on top of the cooler is labeled 5 gallons. Cheyenne is making a table to help her find how many cups of water are in 5 gallons. So copy this table and fill in the missing numbers. How many cups are in 5 gallons? According to the chart, for every 16 cups, there we go. For every 16 cups, it is 1 gallon. So I'm just multiplying now by 2 to get my next number. So I know that 16 times 2 is 32. Now, do I have to go all the way down like this? No, I do not, because it's asking me specifically for how many are in 5 gallons, how many cups. So, since I don't want to count by 2s, because that would take a long time, or counting by 16s, I'm just going to do 16 times 5. Now, 6 times 5, we know is what? 30. So I put down my 0, carry my 3, or my 3 groups of 10. And then I have 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, which gives me a total of 80 cups. Okay? So in this word problem, you could have done it 2 different ways. Now let me erase this and show you again the 2 ways that you could have answered this question. Excuse how slow this is going. So, the first way you could have answered this is to count by 2s and count by 16s. 16 plus 16 plus 16 5 times, right? Or this would also given you 80 cups. Or you could have just done 16 times 5 and you would have still received an answer of 80 cups. Now, neither one of these ways are wrong, but I'm pretty sure the book is wanting you to be more multiplication and division mindset in these next lessons to come. So I would say, for the sake of this question, I would prefer if you were multiplying like this. Okay? So let's erase this and let's get in our lesson for today. So again, like I said, we are talking about word problems that involve division, or as the book calls it, equal groups stories. So if you remember from a couple lessons back, I said the only way that something can be divided for right now, in what we are teaching you right now, it has to be in 2 equal groups. So I am looking now at I'm going to be reading at the top of new concept. So it says, recall that an equal group story has 3 numbers. If we know the numbers of the groups and the number in each group, then we multiply to find the total. Number of groups times numbers in each group equals the total. For example, this is me just coming up with an example. If I know that there are 12 groups, and there are 6 people in each group, I will get a total of 72. So it's trying to tell you the same thing the differences between an equal group story and a multiplication type word problem. So let me erase this. Then if we jump down, it says, if we know and want to know the number of groups, or number of groups or the number in each group, we divide to find the answer. So it says the total number, and I'm going to leave this up here for every single one we do. So it's the total divided by the number. Actually, I'm just going to do a number sign because I don't think I'll have room. Number of groups equals the number in each group. Okay? Or we can do the total and flip these two. So I'm just going to do a little arrow. So it says it on the top of your paper too, but I'm going to leave it at the top of our page. Let's go to example 1. Example 1 says, 28 children are going on a field trip. In my mind already, I know that there is a total of 28 children in all on this field trip. So I am going to automatically fill in 28 over here. Do I know anything else in my problem yet? Absolutely not, but it's very good to keep on thinking ahead. So we already know there are 28 kids in total, so I'm putting a 28 in the total section. 7 cars are available to drive the children. If the children are divided into equal groups, how many children will ride in each car? So now you're thinking in your head, which one of these things is number of groups or number in each group? So, I know that on the number of groups is going to be 7 because there are 7 cars. On your paper, it says that you can do this 7 times what equals 28. You can do it 28 divided by 4 equals 7. But because I started off with the correct way at the top, we actually can do 28 divided by 7, and that will give you 4 in each group. If you are confused, please email me about this. But we will definitely move on, okay? So 28 divided by 7, in other words, it is saying 4 times 7 equals 28. Okay? So let's keep our little rubric up there of the total number, the number of groups. And now I'm going to do this in orange. And we're going to example number 2. 24 people are coming to a party. So again, we are thinking there are 24 people in total. I already know the total. It's perfect. Okay? 24 people are in total. I already know that. They will sit at tables. Did it say how many tables? No. But it did say that there will be 4 people at each table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little question mark equals 4. So now we are going to train our brain to ask a multiplication question. Okay? The answer, we are switching now to 24. We are just switching around the question. We know that there are 24 people coming to our party. We know that there are 4 people sitting at each table, but how many tables are there? I know that it says it on your paper on the next page, but I really want you to think for a second. 4 times what equals 24? I'll give you a second to think about it. 4 times what equals 24? And I got an answer of 6. 4 times 6 equals 24. Now, regardless of whether you thought in your head, looking at it this way, or you switched it around and you looked at it this way, is the answer always going to be 6? Yes. So that's what we're training your brain to look at. Okay? Alright. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the second half of this question, which tells me to draw a picture. In example number 2, I'm bouncing around a little bit. So on example number 2, we're drawing a picture to prove our answer. And remember, our answer again was 6. We said that 24 divided by 4 equals 6. Okay? So this was our guideline. And I'm going to draw a picture now. So I know there are 24 people in all. There are 6 tables, so I'm going to draw really easy, simple tables, because you know Mrs. Lee can really not draw. And since we figured out the answer of 6, we know that there are 4 people sitting at each table. Let's make them orange. 4 people at each table. Kind of looks like pizza, huh? So, if there are 4 people at each table, we should get a total of 24. This is another excellent way to check your answer if it's a small total like this. If you're taking a test and you're more of a visual person, you can say now 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And what I did, I was just counting by 4s to make sure that my answer was still 24, and it is. So, on lesson practice, I want you to do A and B. If it helps you to draw a picture, go for it. If it helps you to write out the equation, go for it. If it helps you to get out counters and actually count out 40 pennies, if it helps you to get out those 30 cereals or M&Ms or whatever, go for it. Whatever helps you get the answer, that is where we are at now in our lessons, because I know that you know how you learn best. So however you learn best is how I want you to finish lesson practices A and B. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.